If you want me, if you need me, I'm yours.
There is. The news we've all been waiting for. Don't act like you ain't been waiting for it. Don't act like you ain't be staring at the chart all day, seeing 80k BTC get broken down, or broken up, broken through, however you want to call it. I'm thinking, this is it. Quarter two. All the TA experts out there saying, you know what, it's been a rough year, it's been a rough 18 months, bear market's over, bottom's in, and it probably is in. It probably is in, you know. And the potential for Bitcoin to, like, you know, fly off and do something spectacular is right there in front of you. And this is the time, man. You lever up, innit? You know, like, you're not the guy who owns one Bitcoin. You've had like multiple years to buy it, but you didn't do it. You know, you believed the FUD back in the day. You believed all the shit when it was like $600. You and me. And you were just like, you know what, I'm going to buy something else. I'm going to buy some ETH. Like, you know, ETH will give me a better return, which it has. You know, if you bought at the same time that Bitcoin was 600 and ETH was $8 or $9 or $80, whatever it was, you've done very well, you know, like. But yeah, you know, the moment has come. You know, the catalyst was here. The catalyst is here, or was. But the problem with Bitcoin now is that it's been captured by centralized entities, individuals with substantial amounts of money who have other intentions for the biggest global decentralized currency. You know, the biggest decentralized currency. There you go. The most secure decentralized currency. Yeah, that's what we'll call it. It's not the fastest. It's not the most, you know, technical. It's Bitcoin. It's the biggest chain. It's got the longest chain. It's got all the things that you would want from a decentralized money. Yeah, you know, everything you would want. But the one thing it doesn't have, is, what does it not have? I guess permissionlessness? It does have that. You can buy it and sell it and move it as much as you want. Is it private? It doesn't have privacy. That's one thing. You know, it's out there. Everyone can see what you're doing on chain. We'll get into that. But yeah, the main reason why I started this video today, thank you for listening to that waffle. I'm just dribbling on. Honestly, like, you know, if I do ramble on a bit today, it's because I haven't slept very well. I had some news like last night. Basically, my daughter was ill. She had to go to hospital. So I've spent like maybe 12 or 14 hours in the hospital. MRI scans, all sorts of things that had to happen. And turns out she's okay. So, you know, that's a blessing. But I came home today. I chilled with the missus, and she's gone to bed and fallen asleep because, you know, work early in the morning or whatever. And I thought, you know what, I'm going to try and give streaming a go tonight because I want to be consistent. I want to have something to say every day and just like practice my craft, didn't it? Maybe I'm actually good at it. Maybe I'm not. I don't know. Who knows? But the point is that we all expected or had expectations that this was it. You know, the bottom's in. We're going to rally into, like, you know, the summer. It's supposed to be selling may go away. And the powers that be, or the power that bees, or the power in control of the Bitcoin narrative and price appreciation, not you, John, from retail, who's like, you know, owns 3 BTC. It's the guy who's buying billions of dollars of Bitcoin. Mr. Michael Saylor has made an announcement today, and it has shaken the market. You know, all the calls are out, all the big, you know, names are out on crypto Twitter right now, live, basically saying what the hell has happened. So here's me. I'm like, let me jump on stream. It's a topic to talk about and discuss with myself. Clearly, And you know, it's just interesting that no matter what we do, no matter how we try to pivot, no matter how much hope we have, all it takes is for one individual, one institution to say something of the ilk, or like what Michael Saylor has said today, just now, 45 minutes ago, to shake the markets to its core. All you people that have decided to take leverage on the breakout above 80k are worried. You know, everyone's like, what? What do you mean? What did Michael say? Like, you know, to get the whole market shook. And it's very simple. I'm going to take you there right now so we can discuss it. Sailor, we will probably sell some Bitcoin to pay a dividend just to inoculate the market, just to send the message that we did it. So he wants to share a clear message to the market that he controls the price. Okay, this is what this is. It's not like oh, let me just see how things are going. You know, I don't know the implications of what I'm saying right now. This is like, I'm going to show you guys how powerful I am in terms of Bitcoin. Okay, he is probably one of the biggest holders of Bitcoin, and more than likely, is he a net benefit for the overall crypto ecosystem? I wouldn't say he is. Obviously, with his purchasing power, yeah, you know, he could be. He could be the almighty that leads us to Valhalla, or to the moon, or to Mars, even. You know, but at the moment, he wants to show you that he has the ability to both make your dreams and take your dreams. So, what does inoculate? What does it inoculate? Means to introduce a microvirus or pathogen into an organism, typically to create artificial immunity against disease, or to introduce microorganisms into a cultural medium. Meaning that, yes, I'm going to sell this Bitcoin, and just that's basically me putting a stamp on this date that I sold X amount of Bitcoin, and you know, if the price collapses from here, basically, and support doesn't hold at a certain price, I believe it's going to probably be around 71k, probably. What do I know? I'm just a guy in the room. But yeah, it could go to 71k, and if it stabilizes there, and he shows that, yeah, you know what, there are actually buyers there, just know that that is the support that I have created through my massive $1 billion buys. You know, like he done, I think last week, $2.5 billion in purchases of Bitcoin last week. The price barely moved. But you know, as you can see, like, you know, the supply has dried up and it began to rise, which is what to the, you know, to everyone was happy. You know, the whole market was happy. Everything was moving up today. Like, you know, everything, like from Starknet to virtuals, you know, to Pepe, memes, whatever you wanted, there was movement. You know, other than Sato, which I purchased yesterday. I only bought a small amount, but man, like, that was a mistake. I thought it was going to be the Bitcoin of Ethereum, but obviously there's other games afoot here. But it's only been out for a few days, isn't it? So we'll see what happens. Small amount. I'm probably just going to forget about it. And who knows, I might be that guy that turned a few $100s into a couple thousands, hundreds of thousands, if it actually moves in my direction in a few years. But it's one of those purchases you sort of like buy it, set it, forget. If it goes to zero, it is what it is, isn't it? Those are the type of moves you make for tokens like Sato, which I knew and haven't really caught the zeitgeist, you know, been in the mainstream discussion. Someone's mentioned it, you know, like Anson might have mentioned it yesterday. Yeah, you know, and then it died. So he bought the top. But, you know, it is what it is. But going back to the fact that Michael Saylor now controls the narrative of Bitcoin, which the narrative is price appreciation. Yeah, it's a scary prospect. He has said in previous interviews that, you know, he hasn't got any kids or wife or anything like that, and when he dies, the Bitcoin dies with him. So basically, the keys to his Bitcoin vault will be burnt, and you know, it will just sit there. He wants to be Satoshi Nakamoto 2.0, and you know, people believe him. I believe him to an extent, but let's not forget that the funds that are being used to purchase these Bitcoins are not his and his alone. They're coming from an institution that he runs, yes, so that means the money is his technically, but he also has shareholders, investors, you know, other people involved in the financing of his company. And he doesn't have to ask permission per se in regards to taking money or equity out of his company and purchasing Bitcoin. But he does have a fiduciary right to his shareholders and, you know, stockholders and whatever, that if he can turn a profit and give them a dividend, he should do it. You know, I'm not sure about the laws on it and everything like that. I guess you know need someone to experience help achieve a goal and a right person to do that. Okay, I hate when these people show up on my in my chat, but whatever. Yeah, so he's all powerful, he's all seeing, he's all knowing in his own mind when it comes to this industry and Bitcoin. Yeah, and that's basically all I wanted to talk about that subject. It's going to be interesting to see what happens in terms of price because there are other people out there who have the funds to perhaps maybe stabilize price. Not sure it's going to be able to move it the way Michael Saylor is able to move price. Okay, let me just check something because yeah, it looks alright. Yeah, so that's all I wanted to say on that. It was just announced. We can look at the comments, and the people are just like, "What the fuck did he just say?" You know, like question marks. Never selling, right? Right. Bob Lucas, the world famous trader who he trades on a 4 year time horizon. It works for him. You know, some people are critical of his methods, but it works for him. By Attention General, he's actually come out and said something. So yeah, all the main proponents of crypto and Bitcoin. Now we pray Asians don't start panic dumping when they wake up in a couple of hours. They're not sleeping, bruv. Asians don't sleep. Trust me. Someone's doing the night shift. Someone's doing the day shift. Um. So yeah, he's just basically testing out. Michael said it's a strategy. Is willing to sell Bitcoin. Well, time sneeze. You're aware that I sneeze on every stream at the beginning. It's just a thing. It's just a habit. It's like when you go to work and you have that time of the day where you go to take a shit. It's the same thing. For me, it's 12 p.m. When I need to go toilet, or 12 a.m. or 12 p.m. when I need to go toilet. I'm like, listen, it's my break time, and everyone knows where I'm going. I'm going to make sure that you guys catch a whiff. But yeah, the sneeze is just part of the stream. You might as well get used to it. Let's see. So Michael Saylor says strategy is willing to sell Bitcoin when advantageous to the company, and it is because he's in major profits, probably more than likely. I'm not sure what his average buy is because he's made multiple buys, which kind of like DCAs. A lot of people say, oh, he only buys tops, but he also buys when the price is going down as well. He might buy the top of a downtrend, if that makes sense. So you could imagine a line going downwards. He'll buy it sort of bouncing up and then it goes down again, and everyone's like, well, he's always buying tops, but he's not. He's just DCAing in and bringing his cost basis, his average down. So he is in profit at the moment at these current prices, so it makes sense for him to take some profit and then pay out as a dividend to his shareholders. Or is it STRC? He's got something called Stark or something like that he uses. It's very complicated, very tradfi. Don't really understand it myself. If you want to look into it, just follow Michael Saylor and you could do your own research. Ask Claude, ask Rock, ask whoever, and you'll be well informed. Okay, so we're going to sell some Bitcoin. Yeah, never sell your Bitcoin. That was in February 2025, so just over a year ago. He said that you should never sell it, and these were peak times. What was February 2025 looking like? February 2025 was probably down here. Probably down here. He was saying that. That was March. Yeah, never sell your Bitcoin. Right at the top. Never sell your Bitcoin. Boo. He sold. And then, probably picked up around here and then just carried it on. But yeah, this looks like it's a profitable trade because he purchased around last week. Around, like I said, 74k. Something like that. He bought here, $5,000. The size that he has, these type of moves of $5,000 per Bitcoin going up, so if it's at 74k and it goes to 80k, he's made major profits. On a $2.5 billion purchase, that's money. So yeah, he's gonna sell, probably make his shareholders whole. Some will sell their positions, some won't, some will cash in. I'm not sure how that whole thing works because I'm not a VC or in the business world like that. And then probably that will restore faith in the process that he's doing, and that will allow him to leverage more money from the company to make even bigger purchases of Bitcoin, because it shows that in fact there is a return. It can be a very short-term or long-term return or yield. So yeah, there's definitely that to think about. Okay, so I'm just going to pause here for a second while I blow my nose because that's part of the show. So just give me a second, enjoy the background music. Okay, I'm back. I might sound a little nasally. I blew it. No matter how many times I do it, it just doesn't go away. But like, you know, it is what it is. I swear my voice is way more masculine like than this in real life. But yeah, it's just that I sound like a nasally nerd whenever I stream for some strange reason. Um, but yeah, it is what it is. So yeah, currently price is sitting at like 80,900. So it hasn't really moved based on the news. Maybe that, like I said, there might be like bigger proponents. You know, the president of El Salvador is a Bitcoin holder and a Bitcoin purchaser. The president and Trump and all of them, they're looking to do a Bitcoin strategic reserve. There are rumors of like, you know, the Clarity Act coming into fruition, so like, you know, things could be moving that way. Maybe this week we get that big news that like, yeah, it's been signed and, you know, like US institutions can actually start buying Bitcoin and holding it on their balance sheets, without doing the trickery that Michael Saylor's doing in order to facilitate the purchases of his Bitcoins. There might be an easier way, a less leveraged way of doing it, via once the Clarity Act passes. We'll see. Maybe he knows something we don't, because he's very well connected. Obviously, he's an extremely wealthy individual, and yeah, possibly we're gonna get some big news this week. So this could be like seen as like, oh my god, like, you know, it's over. Mr. Saylor's you know, decided that he's out, but in reality, he's just testing liquidity for big, and then, you know, preparing while bigger institutions prepare to actually enter the market. So like, you never know, like, you know, tomorrow the announcement might go through the Clarity Act there, and then Google announces, listen, we're going to start like adding Bitcoin to our balance sheet because we believe in, you know, digital markets. um how likely, I don't know. But like, you know, something like that could happen, and then, you know, from there the price just goes parabolic. I haven't seen a parabolic move in Bitcoin in such a long time. I can't remember the last time, you know, back in the day when Bitcoin used to move, it used to really move, you know, like in 1 month you could get like massive candles like that, you know, like even from what, 19 to 29, you know, like a 10 grand move, $10,000 move, like that would happen in a month. Some of that would be in the space of a few days. So like this thing, once this thing really gets going, like it really gets going, and you can see like even on a monthly time frame. I know like candlestick patterns and all of that. I'm not saying patterns, but I'm saying, you know, you're following the trend or the general direction of where price action is going. Is saying that it wants to go up. It's saying that it bottomed on the 200-month moving average and it's ready to go. So yeah, you know, more than likely, like, yeah, Bitcoin has bottomed here for this cycle, for this 4-year cycle, if you believe in that, or for, you know, this bear period, and is looking to go up. Saylor wants to test liquidity. He's probably the one person or individual that has the ability to actually test liquidity in regards to Bitcoin, and he wants to do that just to show that, yeah, it is resilient. If I decide to sell $1 billion worth of Bitcoin, there are going to be people who want to buy $1 billion worth of Bitcoin. Maybe not just one individual, but maybe retail want to get involved, maybe a few other people. Maybe it's too late. Who knows? Who knows? So we'll see what happens. Yeah, it's still speculation from my end. I'm just breaking the news that, yeah, the biggest holder is saying, yeah, never sell your Bitcoin, but now he's decided that I'm going to realize some profits here, guys, because shareholders want to get paid and they want to enjoy their summer. And you know what they say? Sell in May, go away. And he's following that. He's selling in May and he's going away. He even announced over the weekend, like, yeah, we didn't buy any Bitcoin last week, and that was a bit strange for him to say something like that. It's just sort of like, yeah, why would you announce something like that? Oh, we didn't buy any. Okay, cool. Price still went up though. What the fuck does this even mean? Yeah. So yeah, so he holds 4% of the supply, starting to test liquidity sell for Bitcoin, minus 36% from all-time high. YSPX rips to new all-time highs. So like, you know, either way he wins because his stocks and shares are going up, regardless, for MicroStrategy, I believe. In other news, yeah, Iggy Azalea, I'd like to be the first to officially announce the bottom is in. Yeah, so apparently Iggy Azalea is going to be going to prison, or like, you know, she's under investigation, or people try to sue her for her mother token. She said she was going to build a casino, like a phone network, and all sorts of madness she was talking about. And like, yeah, now people are saying, well, you didn't like fulfill what you were going to say, what you said you were going to do publicly. And the mother token went down 99%. So she basically rugged everyone. Maybe she had no idea. Maybe she realized profits as well, and she's just like, well, boy, you know, I'm on a yacht. Who cares? Like, you know, they could find me, whatever, and she'll pay it, and she'll get over life. The mother token holders will not be made whole, and I don't know what you were thinking in terms of holding that token down 99% or like anything like that. It's insane. It's insane what people will buy or believe, or it could be like some massive money laundering scheme. Who knows? I'm just gonna click my notifications. There were some other things that happened today. Oh I want to see like more reactions, to be honest. I think that's more interesting. As soon as the market starts showing signs of life, Saylor comes out and says he's going to sell Bitcoin to pay dividends. Yep, can't make this shit up. Nice. The market isn't looking like dog shit for the first time in forever, and then it's like we're selling Bitcoin. Yeah, yeah. He's basically the new Ethereum Foundation, isn't it? So like whenever like Ethereum looks like it wants to move, the EF announces, oh, we're selling 100,000 ETH. We need to fund business development. We need to build like a data center for our Asiatic economy that's emerging. Like something like that. Like Saylor could be moving in the same direction where he's just like, what, I want to build like AI specifically for Bitcoin purchases. Like imagine that they managed to automate or like make it easier for people to move and transport and sell and buy Bitcoin. And it's not even people, it would just be like AI agents. So like the Lightning Network, a version of the Lightning Network that's just for agents that only spends Bitcoin. And as soon as if that happens, and I don't know if it's possible, but if that was actually did happen, then Bitcoin's price would be astronomical. Who knows? It could be like its own economy basically for agents. You can see a lot of there are a lot of other projects that are actually doing things like that, trying to build their own Asiatic economies. But when if Bitcoin decides or if the people who are in charge of Bitcoin, who own the majority of Bitcoin, because no one owns Bitcoin, but you could own 4% of the supply, which is a lot. If they decide to give it some sort of utility or ability to be transferable in a seamless way, would an agent need to sign transactions? Probably, but they could probably do it at a faster pace than perhaps a human could. I don't know. And it'd be way more secure because it would already be programmed. But in saying that, there's a lot of attack surfaces with this new Asiatic economy. There's a lot of things that are new. People are building things and anything could go wrong. So the risk is there too. Maybe they'll be stake some Bitcoin and you'll earn a yield on it. But then, the risk, because of the risk, the yield will be big as well. Who knows? I don't know. I'm just talking rubbish. Okay, something else happened. Yeah, just give me another moment. Apologies guys again. So annoying. Okay, yeah. Yeah. Then you got people like shilling Zcash again. The Zcash cabal is back out, or cabal, whatever. It's crazy. Sort of bounce back, looking to rip to new highs. People are expecting, four figure Zcash. Okay, I don't really care. To be honest, I don't own any. I've never really traded it. Wouldn't know where to purchase it. You can probably trade it on leverage on hyperliquid. You can trade everything there. So if you wanted to do that, you can. But obviously with the news that came out from Saylor, sort of are you going to risk right now? Who knows? But yeah, the bottom is definitely in. I mean, even hyperliquid, break it out to $44 today. It's crazy. It's insane. The fact that it happened, great for the markets. Things like Luna, like an old agent from back in the last cycle that hasn't really done much. Sort of dead tech now. Even that sort of popped up 10%. So you can see everything is moving, everything. Yeah, based on US news with the president and all the rest of it in Iran, I'm not really going to give you any opinions on that because I don't understand the geopolitical movements. Although if Trump says the war is over in Iran, you take it with a grain of salt. I know that much now because it's been announced so many times that it's over. We're gonna make a deal, and then all of a sudden Friday comes and it's we're not making a deal. We're gonna bomb you, and then the markets dump, and then the oil pumps, and it's just the same game. This could go on for 4 years, with this guy. So who knows? The next piece of news is this. Probably no one's even cares or has heard of it, but there's a chain or an exchange called Ikubo, which is on the Starknet network. We love talking about Starknet on this channel. We love shitting on it. And basically, they've got hacked today. And some Bitcoin got stolen. So there's been an active security incident on Ikubo swap router contract on EVM chains only. Liquidity providers are not affected. Starknet is not affected. We are investigating the scope of the issue, but to be safe, revoke all outstanding permissions. And let's see if I can find what actually happened here. I thought I had it prepared. No, I don't. Which is annoying. I thought I liked what happened. See, I was hoping to have like a nice smooth stream, but then I end up having to search for like the information I want to talk about. But apparently, it was like over like $1.3 million worth of wrapped ETH on this chain. So yeah, it's happened again. Another hack. It's not like a major. Well, $1.3 million to an individual is a lot of money, but like it's not like $300 million from an exchange and they're in trouble and people want answers. Like no one's really trading on this exchange, I believe. But yeah, it's another kick in the teeth for DeFi. They obviously were resting on their laurels and weren't paying attention. And yeah, somehow, let me see if I can get like the actual details on it. EK, was it EKU? UBO. There we go. Just do that. Search that. Probably come up with some random stuff. Yeah, here we go. Yeah, so blockades exploit detection system has identified an ongoing exploit on Ecobo protocol custom extension contract on Ethereum. Okay, so it's actually on ETH. 1.4 million drained so far. Ecobo users are not at risk. Only users who have approved this specific V2 contract as a spender. Any tokens are at immediate risk and should be revoked. So like it looks like they probably thought it's probably like on Ethereum mainnet. I don't know why they would be there. And yeah, someone's managed to breach and steal $1.5 million of wrapped Bitcoin, WBTC. Which is why you would never put. That's why I don't understand where there's like certain protocols, like Starknet, for instance. Yeah, it is. Hacked for like 17 BTC, and the exploiter converted it to wrapped ETH and DAI, and I believe he put it through like like Tornado Cash or something, and he or she or they basically they're gone with the money, so the money's gone. It happened really fast, so it's obviously planned. There's an active security issue, blah blah. So we've read that. So yeah, implements it's. So yeah, basically every old smart contract out there, anyone who's like doing something that's like not even novel, like like wrapped contracts, like if you've got any sort of wrapped BTC, wrapped ETH, wrapped LTC on your protocol, is vulnerable to attacks. It's a bigger attack surface. For people to actually look at the smart contracts and see, are there any vulnerabilities? Can I take advantage of it? And if I can, here, like, what is the process that this person used, for instance, where I could do the same thing? And yeah, it will continue to happen until there's a hardening of smart contracts and auditing. In order for people to fully understand the risks that are out there, things like this need to happen. So when Ikubo gets hacked, they'll learn from it and they'll be like, okay, let's not do this, let's try it a different way. That's how any business, any smart contract, anything gets hardened, is when bad things happen, they learn from it and they build safeguards in order for it to not happen again. Will they learn from it? Do they have the ability to come back from it is the main thing. Because if that was major part of their treasury or their funding, or investors are affected by it and they don't trust the protocol anymore, then people will no longer use it. The protocol will no longer earn fees, and thus the protocol will have to shut down unless they have the budget to actually restore that facility, big man, pay them back in the Ikubu tokens or something like that they feel is secure. But more than likely that's on a 1 to 4 multi-sig and can easily be hacked as well through I don't know, emails. I can't remember what they call them now. I know what I'm talking about in regards to social engineering. That's it. That's what I wanted to say. Those things can happen too. So there's major risks with messing with these niche protocols, especially some people think they're smart and they'll use something that perhaps no one else is using, thinking that they're first. But if over the course of time, I'm talking years, you notice that this thing's not really gaining any traction, the liquidity that is there hasn't changed that much. That means that basically the protocol is vulnerable because the devs don't care about it anymore because it's not making money. And two, the funds haven't changed, so they're just sitting there with a target in spec. So someone's going to exploit it, so yeah, more than likely, we'll see what happens in the future. I don't want to talk bad about them, but at the same time, these things are supposed to happen, and I explained why they're supposed to happen. So yeah, Ikubo's been hacked. What are my other likes? People are still trying to hack Banker as well. Or not Banker, but the DRB contract by writing Morse code to the bot to see if it can actually send funds out of its wallet. Coinbase. So Coinbase today decided that they're going to lay off 30% of their staff or 12%. It was 4,000 people or something. They're basically saying that now that AI is here, Really good devs can actually have a team of agents do the job of a team of people, which is a lot cheaper for them. The jobs that they're doing are a lot more concentrated. So if you've got one person building out, like, the marketing, the smart contract, the code, everything, via agents, so you've got 4 agents doing those individual tasks for one overall goal, it's a lot cheaper than having 4 people and a manager who's going to be watching over them. A lot of people are saying, or like, I've read a few comments saying that Coinbase are letting go of like middle management, like people who manage staff. Like, if you've got a lot of middle management, that's like the fat in it. Like, they're not particularly qualified or specialized in any specific task other than motivating staff. Whether that means that, the asshole in your office is gone, and the devs are like, thank God, I couldn't deal with that guy anymore. He actually doesn't do anything or understand what I'm doing. He just like breaks my balls, tries to force me to meet deadlines and stuff. If they don't need that sort of motivation, and they can motivate themselves, and they have the ability to build out these specialized agents that can do particular tasks, then yeah, it's great for them. So yeah, I mean, Coinbase, a lot of people are saying, oh, like, I mean, why would you pay 350 mil for Echo from like this Kobe, and not like, keep your staff on and give them a bonus? Like, what I mean? Like, it helps the economy. Well, it doesn't. Well, I mean, does it help the economy? I don't know, to have like, a load of middle managers who don't particularly produce anything, because that's what GDP is, isn't it? Like, gross domestic product is like people producing products. And if you've got middle managers who don't produce anything, but you pay them, then, their net value is 0. So chop them out. That's basically what's happened with Coinbase. I understand it. Maybe a lot of the base team have gone as well. Like, base, they really pushed last year, and the narratives didn't stick, the content coins didn't stick. Now they're coming out with their chain, I think this time next week, the 12th of May, I believe, is Azul. So it's going to be interesting to see what base mainnet has. I believe it's going to be very agent centric. Retail, welcome, of course. They're going to try and indoctrinate anyone who's on the Coinbase app, who's buying crypto that way. They're going to try and push them to base once again, because at the end of the day, the people that were using Coinbase as retail, I believe, still haven't been pushed over to work on chain or do anything on chain. Even myself, like when I used to talk to ex-colleagues, I used to try to explain to them like, how transactions work, what you need to do, blah, blah, blah. And then, as soon as you say to them, okay, bridge over to base, and you click, you have to bridge, and it shows that the money's gone from their wallet, the panic sets in. They're just like, what the fuck is happening? Where is my money? And then you have to point them to like your EVM wallet or base, and be like, look, it's in your MetaMask, or it's in your Ravy or whatever, and just relax, it's going to be there. It's 0 for like a good, maybe 2 minutes. And they're panicking. Like, I'm telling you, like, people who are non-crypto, they panic when they do transfers from their centralized wallets, because their wallet balance shows 0. That means, as far as they're concerned, it's a scam and the money's gone. But once you show them that it's over at the other wallet, they're like, okay, what do I need to do now? Yeah. And then you're like, okay, so you want to buy some Aerodrome and stake it? Cool. You need some ETH. So you send the ETH over, and now you want to buy some Aero, so you do a swap for Aero. So it's like, okay, sign the transaction. So you do maybe three signatures there, or 1 signature if it's got passkey. It's like, put in your phone code, blah, blah, blah. And you take it through the steps. You do it, and through that whole process where you're onboarding someone into on-chain. I don't know if we'll call it on-chain, Web3, whatever. Once you do that, it tends to be like they never want to do it again. They feel like it's so risky. They feel like their money is not there, and they're just panicking. I know somebody I onboarded to buy Velo, and get them to actually put the Velo token, in staking or in a vested position, so they can start earning a yield. And up to now, I got them to do it, and it's been maybe 2 years now, and they haven't asked me a single question about it since. So that vested contract is sitting there. I told them to put it into like it's got like a box that earns a yield and just compounds the position. So for 2 years they've been compounding a position, and up to now they haven't really asked any questions about it. And then obviously like the Aerodrome thing where they're bridging over to mainnet, they're not aware of that either. So potentially, like, they can either be in for a really good time or a really bad time. But we don't really speak that regularly anymore, so like I'm just gonna leave it. maybe at some point I might bring it up if we run into each other or for a drink or something. I'll be like, oh, by the way, give me your phone and then we can look at it. But more than likely, they've lost their seed phrase or they can't remember their PIN. It's just a nightmare for like non-crypto people to be onboarded. I've tried several times. I've talked to people. It's like, why are you keeping your money in your Coinbase wallet? Why are you keeping it here? Like, maybe Coinbase want you to do that, but the opportunities are always on chain. But then, even in saying that, me being on chain, I don't think I've made anybody like buying any sort of new asset or trading in a new asset. Trading on leverage, NFTs, all those things that are on chain. None of it has been profitable for the past 3 years. If you actually deep it, like, yeah, you had the meme coin mania at one point, but even in terms of that, it was kind of a situation of like you had to know how to bundle and you had to know the people that were dropping the coins, and the narrative was there, but there were groups of people that were pumping artificially these coins and raping retail who didn't know any better, and that's the reason why like something like Pump Fund is trying to find product market fit once again. So yeah, there's loads of things like going on. So yeah, Coinbase has laid off a load of staff. I sort of pivoted there. Zeke is up 50%. Michael Saylor says he's going to sell, and that's pretty much what I wanted to talk about today. The timeline's not really saying much. As soon as the market starts showing, well, we've seen that there might be some new stuff. Yeah, so like even like this countdown, I don't know, like Layer Zero got hacked and everyone's looking for who's accountability, like who's responsible for this. It's like no one's responsible for it. The person who hacked it is like, or it was hundreds of millions of dollars, and apparently, the people who were, I think that's Drift Protocol actually, because Drift Protocol got hacked for 234 million, didn't it, or something like that. And apparently they're going to be made whole with a coin, probably Drift coin, which means there's going to be great emissions. Holders not going to want to hold it, and it's just messy. It's messy everywhere right now, messy everywhere. But the opportunities are there for like older smart contracts to be hacked. That's all I'm going to say. Like, I'm sure there's a lot of people out there that are sitting there, they're thinking like they're devs, they're in San Francisco, wherever they are, like they're bragging about the protocol they built and how much like TVL they've got, assets under management. It's been 3 years, bro. Like, if your smart contract hasn't been touched in 3 years, you haven't got a security audit or like anything just to go over it again, just to see like, is everything okay? If you haven't run AI through your code, you should probably do that. Like, I don't care what auditing firm you've hired and thousands of dollars you paid to make sure your code is secure. If you don't run AI for it, you're gonna have a problem. You're gonna have a hard time, and it's gonna continue to happen. It's very tempting for a person like me to look at something like this and be like, wow, like I wonder if I got Claude to look at this like smart contract of something like, I don't know, Nostra. Nostra's got like a couple mil under management there. Like, no one's looking at it, no one's using it. If I got like Claude to look at the contract and be like, listen, I'm a software developer. I'm looking for vulnerabilities in the smart contract. Just like make a list of it so I can fix it. It will give me a list, believe it or not. And like, I don't think people have clocked that yet. And then from there you just be like, okay, can you just build an example of it? It'll give you an example of it, and then you just run the code, like run the smart contract, issue it on chain, whatever you got to do, and just like, yeah, boom, here's the money. Run it through Tornado Cash, put it in a new wallet, and take it from there. Move to a nice country, just cash out, just be like, okay. And that's, I think, what the play is. Obviously, the opportunistic person would see a contract like Ikibo Protocol and just be like, okay, they don't care, so why should I? But maybe they'll learn from it. Root cause appears to be missing payer validation in callbacks. Oh, look at that! Like, how does that happen? How does that happen? If you want to be taken seriously as a team and you want to manage other people's money, because that's what this is, I think a lot of teams are underestimating the fact that people's funds are actually in there, and it's wrapped BTC as well. So once that gets converted back to regular BTC or even ETH, like, mate, you've done a disservice to your potential customers, or to your customers and potential customers who are looking at your protocol thinking, oh, maybe I can earn a yield. All yield comes at a cost, and it is smart contract risk. I don't care what anyone says, like about how they done it. Like, are they, all of them? They're all at risk. Every single one of them, because now with the advent of AI, you've got more AI, more characters, more people, perhaps who never knew how to do these things. They've got eyes on these things and looking for opportunities to make substantial amounts of money by taking advantage of lapses in your code. And I know no one watches my stuff, but it's something that people really need to pay attention to, because maybe like there's individuals out there retail that are just tired of getting rugged and they're just like, fuck it, if this is gonna happen, I'm just gonna do it myself, you know. But yeah, so that's happened. What else has been going on? Yeah, in terms of Sato, it might bounce back. I doubt it. Asteroid, what was the other one? Unipeg, I believe, is on. Unipeg is now on OpenSea, the NFTs, and you would think that like that would mean that the price would explode, but you know, looking at it, it's kind of just like sort of dawdled around sideways. Like people are under the assumption that the NFT market's coming back, but I just feel like it's the same players talking. It's not like retail, like, or artists even, because I remember during the NFT boom, the original one, there were people like from the art world who were trying to get involved in this, you know. And I remember specifically people complaining about the cost of gas prices to do a transaction at the height of it. You know, the artist was just like, why do I have to pay $300 for this gas transaction to mint this NFT? It's ridiculous. And that was the top, you know. And since then, it hasn't come back. And those faces, or the new faces that perhaps would be willing to trade and participate in the NFT markets, are simply not coming back or aren't here. We need to wait for, you know, the recycle of new participants, you know, for the ones who are like, you know, like I said in my previous video, 16 to 18, you know, they just come out of university, or 21, they just come out of university, they've got the first good job, and then they've been looking at these markets and they're starting to earn, and they don't realize the dangers, or the scams, or like, you know, all the other things that could go wrong. But the catalyst will be when someone makes a substantial amount of money in the NFT markets. Now, potentially, UPEG could be the catalyst that pushes people back into NFTs, because at the end of the day, no one really cares about the art unless you're an artist. What they care about is, you know, how much money they're going to make if they buy this token now, this NFT now. There will be people who are like value the fact, the ones that are here now, they value the fact that they've perhaps minted one of the first UPIGs, because apparently, you know, that brings sort of like, I don't know, it's like owning a CryptoPunk, isn't it? You know, like, it's sort of like, oh, you bought a CryptoPunk for 1,600 on mint, you know, you paid the gas fee back in the day, like, and you went through all of that, and you know, you're an OG. Like, you know, if you owned one of the first UPIGs, like in 4 years, you know, it could be worth hundreds of thousands, and everyone will be like, that person's never selling it, becomes their PFP and their whole personality. And then, you know, obviously prices drop 50%, and everyone's like, why didn't you sell it at the top? And they'd be like, well, now it's my whole personality, I can't sell it. So the solution to that is to buy two, sell one and keep one. You know, I don't know, but there's like plenty of ways to get around, you know, the whole like identity crisis when it comes to like NFTs and PFPs, and, you know, new narratives and stuff like that. Yeah, but yeah, that's all I wanted to talk about. It's been I think I talked for like 50 minutes. I'm gonna try to just do this every day, you know, like just do a little live update and just give my opinions and stuff. I'm hoping that I'm not gonna repeat myself, or tread over, you know, old ground. But I feel like, as I said before, like there are going to be new proponents, new people participating in these markets, and it's important for like people to get some sort of general understanding about like how things work from my perspective, for me. So like when I say it's important for me to get my perspective out. Doesn't mean you have to listen to it, doesn't mean that it means anything, it's just what it is, which is me just talking. So yeah, there's no sales pitch here, there's no TA to say like, oh yeah, the trade's going to do this, there's no leverage trading. Yeah, it's just like, oh, if something like I feel like it's a big deal, then potentially I'll speak about it. And you know, you can take it with a grain of salt. It's none of it's financial advice, it's just entertainment. It's all for entertainment purposes only. I'm hoping like I get some more breaking news. Like the Michael Saylor thing was sort of the thing that got me to start streaming today. Otherwise I would have just like, you know, watched some streams and just like gone to bed or whatever. But yeah, I think that's it. I think I'm done. I think I'm done talking, unless there's anything else just busts out. Unlikely. Okay, all right guys, I hope everyone's doing well. I'll be back on tomorrow night, like I said. Hopefully there's some cool news. Until then, I'm going to fuck around with Claude, look at some smart contracts, wink, and we'll see what happens. Okay, I hope everyone's doing well, and yeah, I guess I'll speak to you soon. Let me mute my mic. Enjoy your Wednesday, man. Champions League, I think tomorrow. Oh no, Thursday. PSG against Bayern. Make sure you check that out. Alright, see you guys later.